Hi! So glad that you came on to join me today. I'm Lori Bates and I represent Utah State University SNAP Ed program. And we teach people who have limited resources about healthy eating and healthy lifestyles as far as exercise. We are based on USDA recommendations. We are also affiliated with USU Extension. So let's get started. I'm very, very excited to do this lesson with you today. We're going to do it on vegetables, our heart rate, of course, exercise a little bit, right? So today we're going to start with potatoes. Do you like potatoes? Yes, I do. They're so fun and yummy, and they can do so many different things. So we're going to teach you how to use the microwave with the potato. First of all, though, I want you to be able to, before you do anything, always ask mom and dad or your guardian, whoever's taking care of you, if it's okay. And then have them go over how to use the microwave safely. Okay? But the first thing I want you to do is ask them what the wattage on your microwave is. The wattage on mine is 900 watts. The newer microwaves in the stores sometimes can go up to 1,200 or maybe a little even more. So it's important that you find out what that is. And how you can do that is by going to your microwave, and then sometimes you'll see some wording right here, or you'll see it sometimes right here, or you can see maybe your wattage on the back side. Look at those places, and if you don't find it, then get your booklet or your manual that came with it. It will say, or get the model number and the make of your microwave and go online and check to see what the wattage on your microwave is. It's really important. It's like on the oven. You know how you have degrees on your oven, and it's 170, 170, 200 degrees. Most things in the oven are put at 350 degrees. And so there are different degrees of heat depending on what you're making. Well, the same is true with your microwave. So it's important to know how high it goes. So like your oven probably goes up to 500. And doing 500 on some things is not going to be a good thing. So really important that you know how hot it is. I'd like to do most of my microwave cooking that we're doing on high on 900. So we need to learn how to power your microwave down. It's 1,200 watts. Then if I said for you to do this baked potato in the microwave for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, if you've got a higher heat, you're going to take that time that this potato's in there down, because it's not going to need as much heat. So I would say instead of 3 minutes on 900, we will do it 2 minutes on 1,200. Okay? Or if you have like a 1,000 watt, I would try the 2 minutes too on that as well. Okay, so just adjust your heat and see, or do your power levels. On mine, you'll see there's a power button, if I can find it. Oh, here's power level right here. And then you would push that and you would put down how much power you need. Sometimes it'll be like a number, like it'll say 1 through 10, or it will tell you 80%, 90%. So if you have a 1,000 watt microwave and you need it to be 900, we're going to go down to 90%. Okay, because that's 100 less. Okay, I hope that you understand that. If not, in the comment section, type me a note and I'll explain it a little bit more. All right. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I've already got my hands washed. Remember that we wash our hands for 20 seconds under warm sudsy water. And then we tie our hair back. And then we're going to put our aprons on. And we wear aprons so that if we have things on our clothes that maybe might get into our food, and it keeps our clothes nice and clean too. So it's a really good idea. So if you don't have an apron, a good idea is when poor H sews aprons when we're over this pandemic, or if you can sew an apron with your mom or your dad or your grandma or your grandpa, that would be great so that you could have one. And we don't want to get your clothes all messed up because they're expensive, right? Yeah. Okay, so today you're going to need a potato. Now, the best one for a baked potato, in my opinion, is a russet. And this is a russet potato. And they come really big sometimes, like this one. Or they could be a little smaller, or they could even be bigger. So this is about, I would say, a medium to large potato. And so that's what I'm working with today. All right. I have taken this to the sink and I've scrubbed it as I had some very warm water going on it, and scrubbed it so that all that dirt and whatever, has gotten onto the skin of it is gone. So it's really important to do that because sometimes people will want to eat the skin and we want it to be nice and clean. Okay? Then we're going to get you're going to need a knife and something to poke the potato with one little hole so that the steam in the potato can escape. It's really, really important, and we don't need more than one, just one. Because otherwise the potato will go poof and expand and pop. And that makes a mess in the microwave. And it's kind of scary when it happens because it makes a big noise. We got our hole put in the potato. And then I'm going to put it in the microwave. And we're going to open this up. And you will see there's a tray in here. It rotates, goes around and around. And you're going to want to put that potato like this, okay? You don't want to do it this way because that way this side won't cook as fast as if you did it this way. Microwaves get into the first 2 inches of food, so about that much. And then the other part doesn't really get cooked. So it's important to put it around the plate. So then if we had another potato, we would put that one right next to this one. Just like that. Like a wheel. Okay? Never just put your potato in the center like this because it won't cook very well. The center just doesn't get enough microwaves as the outside. Okay? So we're going to put that potato just on the outside of that. And then we're going to close our door. And know that we've got like a safety shield, this little beehive looking thing on the front. It helps it so the microwaves stay inside the machine and they don't get out. Okay? So then we're going to put 3 minutes on our microwave and we're going to get that cooking. We're going to also need some hot pads. Keeping hot pads by your microwave is a really, really good idea so that you don't forget, because I always forget. I wish I didn't, but I do. And so if I kept the hot pads by the microwave, I'm more likely to remember. Okay? So keep those handy. And ready to go so that you don't burn your fingers, because the microwave can get things hot just like the stove. So it's important that we're really, really safe. While that's cooking, and let's go ahead and prep our other items. We're going to go ahead and get some frozen broccoli, and we're going to do 1/4 of a cup of that. And if it needs to be chopped, there's 1/4 of a cup. Okay, 1/4. That's what that looks like. On there, and let's just get about 1/4 of a cup in there. Oh, these are pretty big florets, so maybe 3. Okay. And you can just take your table knife and get that chopped up, and it works just fine. So if your mom and dad don't like you using sharp knives yet, know that you can just use your table knife, and it works out. Now when you cut these, make sure you're putting it down on the flat side, so that otherwise it's rolling. Look how it kind of rolls around. But if you do this, it's not going anywhere, right? So we're just going to get that, and keep your fingers away. I don't think the knife would cut you, but be really safe, right? And you could let this broccoli thaw out a little bit, and that would be totally good. And it would be easier to cut it too. So, and if you don't like the stems of your broccoli because they're too tough or whatever, you could cut those off as well. Okay. But if your mom and dad let you use a knife when they're around, make sure you have an adult or your guardian around, so that if you have any questions or if you have any problems, they're there to help you. Okay, because you know, when we have cooking classes, I am there for you to make sure that you're good and that you're safe. So it's really, really important that we do that. Okay. Then, all right, we've got our broccoli. It's a little bit more, but that's okay. I like broccoli, and it's good for you, right? All right, so we're gonna put holes in our bag, and this is a freezer Ziploc regular plastic bag, and so we're just gonna take our little thing and make a little hole, or you could take your scissors and fold it like this. See, here's the top. We're gonna fold it and then just put a little snip right here with a pair of scissors. The reason being is the same thing, the potato. Remember I told you that if you didn't put the little hole on, it would go pfft. It's the same thing, because the bag would blow up more with steam, and it might cause it to pop, and we don't want that, right? Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the rest of this in here. And then we're going to Ziploc it, and we don't have to worry about anything because we put that hole in there, okay? All right, so that's ready. Now that this potato is ready, see, I went to go grab it without the hot pad. I am so terrible. Okay, we're going to get our piece of foil, shiny side up, okay? Because there's a non-shiny and then a really shiny, okay? And then we're going to put our potato right in the middle of that, and we're going to fold this in like so, just like so, and get it all ready. And this is going to sit for about a half hour to 45 minutes. So do it, you know, ahead of time, so when you're ready to eat, this will be ready. All right, so we're just going to let that sit. And another thing that's fun, if you wanted to do in the winter, is get one of those styrofoam coolers, do a bunch of potatoes up, put them in that cooler, and they'll last a little bit of time till you go like to a party, and then you can have a baked potato party. Or if you're doing sledding, you would bring all of these, and you could put salt and pepper, a teeny bit of butter or yogurt on them, or the cheese and broccoli, whatever. Bring it all, and then put your broccoli in between them to keep them nice and warm. So it's a really neat idea. I've done it before. It's real fun. You should do it. Okay, so this is the potato I have already going. But I wanted to get this cooked really quick. And we're just going to put it in for 30 seconds, maybe to a minute. Not very long. So let's start with 30 seconds and see how it is when it gets done. Okay, here we go. And we're going to put it in not like this, but like this. Okay? And we're just going to put it right on the side of that. And I have a 30-second button, so I just push it. And let's talk about potatoes just a teeny bit. There are red ones and white ones and russets and purple, and they're all fun potatoes. So when you go to the grocery store with your mom and dad, kind of take a look at the different potatoes. The other day I was in the store and there was these teeny ones, like little baby potatoes. And I've seen those done and they're really yummy. You can get them all cooked in the microwave or in the oven, and then cook them with a little bit of butter and a little bit of garlic, or even just olive oil in a pan, and just saute those up for a little while, and oh, they are so good. And then you could sprinkle them with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. So there's different potatoes for different things. For example, I know a lot of people do those white potatoes in their potato salad. My mom used to do russet, but I know a lot of people who do white. So red, I've seen those done in multiple ways. I've seen them done in mashed potatoes, soups, things like that. You could even, do a bake, but I think the russets are best for baked potato. Okay. All right, these are ready. So you'll see that that's all nice and pretty and green and bright, and that's what we want, okay? Then we have our cheese, and we need just an eighth of a cup of cheese, whatever it takes to sprinkle that. Okay, so then we're going to take this out, and I want to show you this foil. And what has happened is something called standing time in the microwave world. And that standing time has, see how kind of cooked the inside looks now? That little blackness in there. Well, what happened when we put it in there is it put the moisture back in that potato, and it made it nice and fluffy in the inside. I think this is the step a lot of people forget to do. And then they get their potatoes and they're kind of like a crystal hardness and they don't like them. But this is a much better way, so don't skip this part, okay? All right, then we're gonna just go ahead and take our knife. You could do this in the oven too, by the way. But you know what? I think this is a lot better and easier for me. But if you need to use the stove, because that's what you have and you don't have a microwave, that will work. So you would take it to like 350, 400 degrees on your oven, and it would be like 50 to 60 minutes. Don't forget to pierce it one time, and then put it in your foil in the oven, okay? Some people don't even put their foil on in the oven because they want the outside to be really crispy. Okay, so we're going to cut this lengthwise like this, turn it, and we're going to go the other way. Not all the way though. See, it's not gone all the way through. Then we're going to take our two fingers like this, put them on each side of your potato, and we're going to squeeze, okay? Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Here, let's get that a little more open. And look how soft. It's very, very yummy looking. Okay. And so go in there, and if you need to chop up the inside a little bit so that you can get your broccoli on top, like me. Okay. So that's it. Isn't that neat? Now you could put a little bit of butter, if you like butter, on your potato. I wouldn't put a whole lot because we're trying to cut back. Okay, so we could put a little bit on here though. And if it falls apart, it's okay. We're gonna eat it, right? Anyway. Okay, so then I want to show you. Okay, that looks good. All right, so go ahead and add your broccoli on top. Okay, salt and pepper. We're just gonna sprinkle it a little bit, just on top. It's really yummy with a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay. All right, so then we're gonna go ahead and put our broccoli on here. It doesn't look like much, but I think it'll do good. Okay. All right. And if it goes all over the plate, it just makes it prettier. So it's good if you don't mind. Okay, so that's got that on there. Then put your cheese, whatever you have. If you don't have broccoli at home, it's okay. You might have corn or beans or asparagus. Or even some chili. If you have some extra chili, you could pour it over. Oh, that would be yummy. Okay, and then we're just going to put a little bit of cheese on here. And if you wanted, you could put it back in the microwave for just 30 seconds to try and melt things a little bit. Because this is on top, sometimes it doesn't melt as well. So let's do that, okay? Here we go. Okay. All right. So that's it. Isn't that beautiful? Doesn't that look pretty? Oh, it kind of fell apart there. It's very, very beautiful. And now you could add a little bit more salt and pepper on top if you wanted, because we believe in layering your seasoning. So just put a little bit first, put things on, put a little bit again after, so that you can get the pepper and seasoning all throughout your potato. You can use any kind of seasoning. You could use oregano, you could use Italian, maybe even just something called seasoning salt. You could use that. Or Mrs. Dash, anything like that with got lots of different herbs and stuff. That would work too. So that is our baked potato. Isn't that fun? And that's the best part of it. We need to make things as easy as possible, and this is one way to do it. So let's go over something that I wanted to talk to you about today, and that is how to help our hearts a little bit better. You know, we kind of ignore it, but it's really an important part of our body. It's a really, really important part, because without it, we wouldn't be living, right? So it's important to eat lots of different colors of vegetables and fruits to help our heart and our body to heal. They have antioxidants and vitamins that help in the healing and infections that our body will fight. And it needs those vitamins to fight off those things. So really, really important that we do that. Okay, so let's monitor our heart a little bit, shall we? All right, so I have this. I wanted to show you this. So there, you can see that. Our pulse rate using our index finger, which is this one, and then our middle finger, we're going to take those two, okay? And we're going to find it on our neck right about right here. And you push a little bit, not too hard, until you can feel your heartbeat. Or you could go on your pulse, on your wrist. So here we go. Put your two fingers on here and push until you can find your heartbeat in through there. Okay, so practice that really quick. See if you can find it. Aha! I'm alive. Okay, so on either side of your neck will work. Doesn't matter. It should both have have a heartbeat. One should be stronger, like mine was a little bit stronger on this side. All right, this is called our pulse. Okay, find our pulse is it needs to be strong and steady. Okay, so we need to time our pulse for 6 seconds. So when you get up in the morning, this is the experiment. Are you ready? We're going to do 2 experiments today. This is our first one. When you sit up in your bed, first thing in the morning, I want you to remember to take your pulse. Remember we found it. And either set your timer or have your mom and dad count for you, or your brother and sister. Or if you are lucky to have a phone, you could set your timer on your phone for 6 seconds. Okay? So go ahead and try and find your pulse right now, and I'll count to 6. And then if you're sitting down, that will qualify for doing the homework one. Okay? So the first one is when I wake up, which is the one we're talking about, after playing hard, like if you're going to go on your bike, or if you're skating, or your skateboard, or if you're playing tag, right after, then you're going to check your pulse, doing homework, or just kind of sitting during the day, watching a TV show, maybe that one that's kind of a little bit scary, or if it's an adventure, like racing cars and things like that. We want you to take your pulse while you're watching that. And then write down what those pulse amounts are. Okay? So, for example, first thing in the morning, we woke up, it was 73. Then I was playing or raking leaves or whatever, and then it was 120. See how your heart rate went up? And then doing homework, it was 82 because it's kind of stressful. We're doing homework. And then exciting TV show is 91. So it's right up there too. Okay? Then, when we got that going, and having someone help us, we're going to multiply the number that we got by 10. Do you know your times tables? Well, if not, maybe you could get some help from your mom and dad, or a brother and sister, or a calculator. Okay, we could go, if my pulse was, let's say 6, and you times it by 10, that would be 60. Okay? And then you will know what your heart rate is for that 1 minute. Okay? An average child resting heartbeat is around 80. So this particular is 82. Okay, and then when they woke up, it was 73. So they're right there where they should be, right? And then I count, did I count for you? No, I'm going to count for you, right? So are you ready? So get going on trying to find it. I'll wait for a second. Okay. Take the 2 fingers, place it on your neck or your wrist. Okay. Hopefully you found it. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so how many did you get? If you got 10 or 12 or 15, then you're going to times that by 10. And then I want you to write it down on a paper just like this, just like I did, and say, when I woke up, it would be this. Or right now, if you're just kind of sitting there, it would be that for the homework one. So the first one, when I woke up, after I played, during homework, an exciting TV show. Okay? And the reason why I'm having you do this is because it gets you to be familiar with your heart rate a little bit. Some athletes, you know, the Olympic athletes that do all the fun things every summer and winter too. Some of their heart rates resting is 40. So the lower your heart rate means the stronger your heart is, because it's not working as hard to function because you're in good shape. Does that make sense? Okay, so make sure that you're really exercising really hard when you take your pulse for this test. Okay. We talked about the challenge question. Are you ready? Will a heart made strong with regular exercise beat faster or slower when resting? What did I say? Do you remember? Okay, the answer is resting heart rate is slow because a strong heart can pump more blood with fewer beats. Many, like I said, many people who exercise a lot have very low pulse rates when they're resting. Okay, something else is called, when we're talking about the heart, it's called target heart rate. So the first one was our pulse, right? Our heart pulse. And then the next one is a target heart rate. And we strive for that during like an aerobic activity, like I was talking to you about riding your bike, raking leaves, running, swimming, soccer, football, any of those that take a lot of effort to do. These activities use large muscle groups like our heart and our thighs, things like that, okay, to build endurance. Endurance means a long time, okay, being able to do it for a long time. It is recommended that children, like yourself, exercise at their target heart rates and a minimum of 20 minutes. So you should be exercising for an hour a day, but we want that heart rate to go up for at least 20 minutes. So that means you're going to ride your bike for about 20 minutes, your skateboard, swimming, soccer, that type of thing. And on most of the days of the week, so that we are exercising our heart and making it feel really good and healthy. All right, so our resting rate below 60 would have a target rate of about 150. Okay, so on this one, we have a resting of 73, and then after playing, we have 120. Okay, so there is a handout below in the comment section that's got a list of all the target rates for your heart. So let's say your pulse is 60 to 64 when you got up in the morning. Then your target of where you're going to want to be when you're playing is 151. Okay? So then you know that when you take your pulse and you just got done playing, and if it's around 151-ish, then you're doing really well. And you're working your heart the way you should. Okay? Isn't this fun? It's very interesting. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about too. We always talk about MyPlate, right? And if you look right here, this is the MyPlate. And we've got vegetables, and we have fruit and grains and protein and dairy. And those particular items on the MyPlate are so helpful because this is a good tool to plan a heart-healthy diet. We were talking about having a healthy heart while we exercise. Well, it's just as important to include plenty of colorful, fun things, okay? Some examples might be like in the protein section, we could have some baked chicken and then take the skin off because that's where all the fat is. And then dairy, we could maybe go from whole milk to 1 to 2%. We could also eat some fat-free yogurt. And just remember the one special thing, eat lots and lots of colors. We need to eat carrots and beans and squash and fruits like apples and oranges and berries. Oranges are at the best right now. I had an orange the other day. It was so yummy and juicy. So see if your mom and dad or your grandma and grandpa, whoever's taking care of you, will go get you some oranges. I put a handout in the MyPlate. It's like a coloring page. It's black and white. And would you do me a big old favor and plan a meal that you would like with lots of colors? And you can draw pictures on it, or you could just put the words and say, okay, I'm going to have some corn, and I'm going to do the baked potato that Mrs. Bates did. And for breakfast, maybe I'll have an egg with some orange, maybe some orange slices. And then for lunch, we'll have milk. So you see all the different colors that are happening there. And if we make a plan, maybe we'll be able to stick to doing more colors. Okay? But I forgot one thing. Our other science experiment. Oh, so glad that I didn't sign off. All right. Here we are. You guessed it. We're going to grow a potato plant. Okay, so what you're going to need is a canning jar like this, preferably a wide mouth one. They have little ones that are smaller, but we need a wider one. And then we're going to put lukewarm water in here and put some toothpicks around the potato like this. Okay? And then that will hold it right in the water like that. And you are going to begin to see something called eyes. Okay, they call them potato eyes. And you can see mine already starting. You see that? And that is the root that goes in the ground. And it'll continue to get bigger and bigger in here. And then guess what? It's going to start to grow a plant out of the top part. Now you're going to put this in some indirect sunlight. That means, okay, like if this is the sun, this is direct sunlight. It's getting really hot and, you know, and everything. This is indirect sunlight. It's not really on top of it, but it's getting some of it. Okay? So indirect sunlight, and put your toothpicks in. Make sure that you give it water if it needs it. And then watch it grow. And then when it gets pretty good size, you could put it in a container and get some potatoes. And what happens is the potatoes grow in the bottom part in the ground, and that's why they're called root vegetables, because all root vegetables grow inside the ground, and they're the root of the plant. So that's cool, right? Peanuts are another one that do that. They grow in the ground. You pull them up, you got all these peanuts. Pretty neat, huh? All right. Have a wonderful week. This is Larry Bates, from my home to yours. Bye now.